Yes, there is something, I'm not sure I can follow it, but
Well,
also.
you got a desktop, right?
Oh,
Go and use the desktop.
where were you? Over the other side.
Of course. Walk right into it. Yeah. It's a normal line. And they all talk.
These good practices. That's the idea.
Should we keep our masks on? This 10 years on Instagram, but I don't have any friends that use it, so they've never.
You tried connecting and you did?
I just felt that we have a blank screen right now.
Alright, so just, they may have a button that allows you to download them all.
Hello there. Welcome to the December meeting of the Camera Club. If you could just come in, please sign the sign-in sheet so we can count you here. Looks like we've got a lively gathering. What I hear is that you do not need to have your masks on in this room here. In the hallway outside, you do need to have it on, but in the room where we're going for dessert afterward, you will not need it in there either.
If you might as well.
We have 14 new members to the club, 14 or 15, and several of them are here tonight. Would you stand up, please, if you joined the club in the last 2 months? Karen D'Angelo and Tad.
Petu. 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 H-E-T-U.
Hetu.
Petu, yeah.
Hetu.
Yep.
Tad Tetu. Welcome to the club. And Joan Stucker, the better half of the better 3/4 of my family.
He admitted it publicly.
Our meeting tonight is going to be about competition. How many, well, let me just turn it over to the competition committee and let them talk. But first I'm interested in how many entries were there?
Approximately 45 pictures. Yeah. Approximately 45 pictures.
Does somebody want to talk?
Good evening. I wasn't here at the last one in November. My name, for you who don't know me, my name is Gary Pedersen. I am the vice president. I took over from Bob Horn. Welcome everybody. This is the first one, a competition for 21-22 season. We used a new system this year. We'll talk about that later. What I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the judging, and before we show any pictures, kind of give you an idea how we did it. We had 3 judges and 1 alternate. We met as a group. We discussed the images over Zoom. We had a score between 7 and 9. We each gave our score, and then we averaged it out. And those averages we do not round them off. So a 7.7 is not an 8, and an 8.7 is not a 9. Okay, it's an 8.7 is an 8.7. 2 of the judges had images entered. That's why we had an alternate person judge those images. The judges were myself, Jim Ricketts, Diane Spiegel, and Betty McShane. She was the alternate. Going forward, we're going to try to bring in new judges. Next time, maybe 1 or 2 new ones. We're going to reach out to you guys in the coming weeks, and hopefully you'll volunteer to be a judge, and somebody will step back. Is there any questions about the judging? I know Alan's going to talk a little bit afterwards about the process that how we entered it and the new system we're using. Any questions about judging? You just want to get going? Okay. All right, Alan, shall we? First one is field trips. That's the one we took to Bombay Beach, the Salton Sea, back in the latter part of October, I believe, the first part of November. There was about 8 or 9 people showed up. We were happy to see that. We spent some time down there. Everybody seemed to have a good time. These are kind of the pictures that we got out of it. So, okay, this one is titled Art in the Water. 100.
Excuse me, can I make,
Yes.
if someone knows how to operate the lights, it would be better if the lights were turned down.
You want to turn? Okay. Does anybody know how to turn lights off?
Got a lot of faith.
It's in the closet somewhere.
Jim's gonna look. Okay. Are you guys having trouble seeing these?
I can see it.
Looks fine.
Okay. All right. We'll work on the lights. Okay. This is Art in the Water. The judges felt that it was overall sharp, moody. Object to the left, as you can see, it's actually a little art piece in the water. It's a person. Some of us felt it was a little distraction. We also noticed that it looked like the editing around it's a little darker than it should be. So some people made a comment, maybe just even cropping that out. Some people mentioned the shoreline, maybe focus just on the structure itself and eliminate the shoreline down below. If you look at the horizon on the right, you'll see it's very light over there. We felt that could have been darkened down, kind of distracts from the eye. Overall, we gave it a 7.7. Okay? Okay, this is The Lone Tree. We liked the composition. We liked the use of the black and white. One issue that one of us had was it seems to be a little shadow around the tree trunk. Overall, we liked it. We gave that one an 8.3. Next one is Bombay Beach Triangle. It lacked the wow factor, we felt. It needs some cropping. One judge suggested eliminating the shoreline and just focus on the reflection in the water, period. That one, we gave it a 7.7. This one is entitled Inside Rebar Tower at Bombay Beach. We notice that it's out of focus, both in the front and in the back. We suggested maybe they try using black and white, put it in black and white and see. We just felt we weren't thrilled by this one, unfortunately. We gave that a 7. Okay, the next one is Untitled, and it's mine. Okay. So I'll be honest. It said it did have a wow factor. They liked the idea of the black and white and the one little color piece in there. One suggestion was to remove the power lines in the left, but otherwise it was given 9. And keep in mind when the judges judge ours, meaning mine and Jim Ricketts, we had nothing to do with it. We were quiet. We just didn't say a word. Okay, next one is from the Gay Pride Parade, and this is another one of mine. They felt it was too dark, the judges. The shadows, they felt, could have been lighter. This was given a 8. This is called The Plane. Sharp. We had some technical problems. We noticed kind of we think the sky was added, and there's some issues on the lower left corner around there. There was also suggested that maybe could have been shot with a little bit more on the right, kind of more of the airplane instead of just straight on like it was, or maybe crop it differently. That one we gave a 7 to. The swing, we felt that it was too dark. There's an issue, and also the sky was added, and as you can see, the sky was added also on the water reflection. If you notice, there is some sky that kind of bled into the upper part of the swing itself, and we felt that the water, on the reflection on the water, kind of took away from the overall effect. That was given a 7.3, and we also felt it could have benefited from maybe a better cropping job. And that's it. So the ones that got as you can see, the 9, Doris, they got an 8.3 and an 8 point on the Gay Pride Parade. That's it for the field trip. Any questions, guys?
You guys are tough.
Thank you, Sam.
When you did your field trip, did you go just for the day, or were you able to catch sunrise, sunset?
This group does not like to get going too early. That's an issue we had. We went down, Jim Ricketts and I went down a few months ago early. We got up before dark and got down there at sunrise, and it's very pretty. But the group as a whole did not want to go down there. We were down there for about 3 hours, okay? So one thing to consider about the field trips, they're gonna be a regular category on the next 2 competitions. So I strongly suggest, if you're interested, to go. The next one is going to be El Paseo at night, I believe on the 14th. One thing nice about this, we're going to allow people though that want to enter, if you go, like people now can enter again some of the pictures that they took on the Salton Sea, and you can do it for the next 2 deals. So we're looking at a 1-year period of time you can enter. So you just don't have to do it, just a one shot. You can do other stuff too, okay? Anyway, that was that.
It's within the club year.
Yeah, I'm sorry, within the club year, okay, which is what, July to June, right? Okay, so. Let me get Diane's notes. Okay, open category. Open category is anything goes. It's up to the person, whatever they want to suggest. We had a lot of nice pictures. We had a couple pictures that we had some discussion on, and we'll talk about those later. Okay, this one's called Colors. Good composition, we felt, very nice. Would like to see the left-hand corner a little darker down there. We'd also like to see the background in general maybe a little brought down a little bit, just focus on the 2 flowers. There was a comment made, maybe up the contrast or up the color saturation on the flowers, give it more of a pop. We felt would maybe benefit a little bit. We gave this one an 8. Okay. Next one. This is called Reflections. We felt that there was just too much going on here. What was the photographer trying to say? What does he want us to look at? We weren't really sure. We felt that the reflection in the water could have been a little bit maybe more colorful, a little bit sharper to kind of maybe add some character to it. We gave this one a 7. Okay, this one. We had a lot of discussion about this one. This is untitled. We looked at it and we thought, well, wait a minute, we have a policy about not taking pictures of art. So we discussed it, and then let's go back to it. And so then we did a few more, and then we went back and addressed it. We like the picture. It's good composition, good lighting. Not the wow that we were looking for though, unfortunately. We gave this a 7.7. Okay, this one. I'm gonna do something different. Who shot this? Is the photographer here?
Yes.
Who? Beautiful picture. Beautiful. When we saw this, we wish it was ours. We wish it was one of our photos. We all did. The subject matter, the composition, the way you edited what you added, it's just beautiful. Really great. We gave you a 9 on this one. Very nice, very nice. Okay, next one. This is also untitled. This was shot down at Bombay Beach, obviously. We weren't sure what we're looking for. What's the focus here? Weren't really sure. Couple of comments. The shadows on the bottom, they like those. We noticed we maybe crop it a little different. We noticed that the overall picture is lacking in a nice black and a nice white. So the grayscale just is not prevalent at all. Unfortunately, this one got a 7.3. Okay, next one, untitled. Clear focal point, background has the right amount of blur, good reflection on the hood. Shadows could be a little brighter, someone felt. Maybe lighten up the license plate, give a little pop. Reduce shiny spot. There's a couple spots that maybe could have been taken out. Overall, I think maybe the grayscale could be addressed and have a nice black in there and a nice white. That one we gave an 8.32. I do like the position though, how he shot it, kind of low to the ground. Very nice. Okay. Okay, Blue Balloon. Judges felt that this was more of a snapshot than a picture, an image. The balloon is too centered, needs better composing. We felt that the whole picture was a little too blue, especially the balloon. We know it's blue balloon, but we felt that there should be some white in there or something. The basket we also noticed is sitting on top of the building. Maybe the photographer could have made some changes on this and changed it a little bit. This one we gave a 7 to. Okay, Fuzzy Cactus. Very creative. One judge did not care for the creative technique. He wondered how it was actually helped the picture, wasn't sure. Good use of light and motion. We felt the line at the bottom, if you can see it down at the very bottom down there, was a little distracting. I also felt that there was a dead space in the upper left. Maybe cropping it a little different would have helped the image. This one we gave a 7.72. Okay, this one we liked, reflection on glass. It's very creative, it's a great idea. We looked at it, we wondered, this is the way we received it. We kind of wondered, would it look better horizontal, maybe? We tried it, but we judged it like this, like it was. Good composition and lighting, interesting, very interesting. And then again, we questioned, would it have looked better horizontal? We gave it an 8. Next one, Hawaiian Pulera. Beautiful colors, has a wow impact. Maybe more pop to the color, maybe adding a little bit more there would have helped a little bit. The technical aspects are very good. If you notice that the white in the leaves are not blown out, or the petals, you can see detail in there. The shadows on some petals was a bit distracting, but I don't, that's the way it is. Could have been improved, maybe it says here the photo could have been improved with a little more room on the left. So we are a little tight there, as you can see. However, we did give this an 8.3. Okay, See the Ball. It tells a story, but we have to search. We felt we had to search for the ball. We thought it was interesting to see the movement of the racket. Photo could have been straighter. Evidently, we felt that when the judges felt that it wasn't horizontally, it was a little off balance. The foundation on the bottom is a little bit distracting. Maybe could have benefited from using a blur filter on the background. Maybe that would have made that less distracting. This one, we gave it a 7.7. And this one is PNB 1. Judge had very different view on this photo. Good capture of the ball close to the racket and facial reaction. One judge felt the photo was out of focus. Could have cropped more from the top and the right side. The microphone behind the player, which some people thought it was a tail, it's a little distracting, we felt. This one we gave a 7.72. Excuse me. What number is that, Alan? This one here. 11. Okay, this one we gave it, yeah, you're right, a 7.72, sorry. Okay, next one is PNB 2. This is a very nice shot, good composition. They did a nice job in stopping the action just at the right moment. In focus and good lighting. Could crop a little maybe on the right. The one judge would like to see that white line at the bottom maybe blend better with the background. Maybe just, they could have taken it out totally. Thought it was a little distracting. That one we gave an 8.32. Okay, this one, Lady in the Window, it's mine. Okay, so I felt it was a nicely done picture within a picture. This would have probably not have worked in black and white or in color, but having the two, it seemed to work. The viewer, what the photographer wanted you to see. Why some people felt the white could have been a little bit more whiter, bring out the shadows a bit more, overall eye-catching and intriguing. This got an 8.7. This one is untitled. This is also mine. Photo sets a mood, but leaves if you were wondering what the focal point is. Detail and colors are very good. The straight red bridge almost cuts the photo in half. One comment about adding greenery to the left of the photo to better frame it, or have someone standing on the bridge. This one got an 8. This one is Fall Morning at Long Little Pond. Good composition and good use of color. The mist behind the trees adds to the mood. Perhaps a little crop off the bottom and darken the corners a bit. Give a little bit more punch to the colors of the leaves. This one, we gave it an 8.3. Okay, this one is Napa Morning. The balloon was probably the focal point, but it was so small, we're not really sure what the photographer wanted us to look at. We felt it could have been edited to draw attention to the balloon more. The foreground is somewhat confusing and distracting. We gave it a 7. Okay, Puffin. Beautiful photo, good color, soft background, blends in well. Maybe crop it a little bit more to the left and have the puffin looking off to the right. Photo would also benefit from cropping on the top. The bird feathers, if you notice the chest, for instance, they're blurry. The face, though, is in pretty good shape. We gave this one an 8. And that is our results for there. Are there any questions? Cool. Okay, Jim Ricketts is going to do the prospectives. Jim, you want to sit there or you want to come up here?
We had a total of 19 pictures in this category. The category is perspective, and overall people did really a good job in terms of selecting photos that emphasize perspective in many different ways. And there were some standard ways, like this, for example, but there are some people that had some really creative thoughts on how to show a different type of perspective. So the first one here, it did not come titled. The judge thinks overall the picture was well composed. They like the fact that the person was added to the left to give a little bit of sense of size and an interest in the photo. There was a feeling that it might be leaning a little bit to the left, but not a huge deal. Cropping it down from the top might have helped a little bit in improving the photo. And the focus is good, sharp from front to back. So overall, the score was an 8. The next one is called Pipes. It does have a wow factor, excellent composition, good use of lighting and color, and one suggestion, not a negative, is that the maker might want to put this in black and white to see what it looks like. So this picture got a 9. The next one is called Power. The picture is in focus and sharp. However, it lacks pizzazz or a wow factor. The sky seems a bit muddy, and we thought that the composition could have been improved if the maker had moved to the right a little bit and picked up a third tower in the picture. And if you look on the left bottom side of the picture, you'll see that there is a little bit of the tower that's sticking into the picture. So it looks like that could have possibly been done. It would have automatically tightened it up. The towers wouldn't have been as far away from one another, and it might have helped the picture. So overall, it got a 7. The next one's called Window Arch. Good composition. The major negative here was the picture is quite grainy, and the focus is pretty soft at the horizon. And we concluded that black and white treatment really didn't add a lot to this picture, and would think that suggested the maker might put it in color and see what it looks like. But the biggest problem was the graininess of the picture. So that received a 7.3. The next photo is kind of one of the problematic photos on, is this a picture of art or is it a picture of perspective? We gave the maker the benefit of the doubt and did not DQ it. There is a sense of perspective to it. Keep in mind that when you have a picture like this, that's clearly there is art in this. This photography is beautiful. You have to put it in context of things around it. So the emphasis is not the art of it. It's in the context of its surroundings. So at this stage, because there's so many new people in the group, we thought, well, we're not going to DQ it. We gave it a 7. This picture, the overall comment on this one was, it's just the blacks and whites do not blend well. It basically looks very gray. So you got to get the maker needs to get the whites up and the contrast up. It also leads, the left side leans a little bit to the left, so the verticals are not as good as they could be. And that was something that with editing would have been very easy to fix. The final comment was, if you look at the foreground, the picture is not a sharp focus. It is pretty blurry. And the maker probably could have improved that by taking out the first pillar and just concentrated on using the base of the picture, the one pillar back. So that would have improved the overall focus. So this it did get an 8, but it does need some work. The next one, this one also had the same problem relative to the use of a blended black and white. You see there again, you get a sense of gray in the picture. You need deeper blacks and much wider whites. Also in the center of the picture at the top, you see that it leads to the right. So the lines are not very straight in it throughout the picture. So work needs to be done there. The shop on the left-hand side is distracting, doesn't add anything to the picture. And all the big door on the right side doesn't add much to the picture either. So cropping it tighter would help. And finally, in the foreground, it's out of focus. So that one, for the composition itself, I think two of the judges rated it higher than the maker, or in this case, the maker was me. So, but it got an 8.3. And I have to tell you, I think that in reflection, that was a little bit of a stretch. The next one is called San Francisco from Sausalito. Composition is, and the use of the color is good. The focal point of the image, however, is a little difficult to find. Is it the plant in the front, or is it the city in the back, or where's the eye supposed to flow? So this one ended up with a 7.7. Next one, this is called Under the Pier. We all like this one. It had a big wow factor to it, like the use of perspective, just an excellent example. In good focus, the lighting was excellent. We were wondering if the bird was added or the bird was there in the first place, but that was a nice little touch that they put in. So this one received an 8. This one, Copenhagen, Denmark. Fundamentals of the picture are good. Good focus front to back. It does show perspective, but it lacked excitement to it. It also lacked, for us, a focal point. Is it the boat on the right? Is the boat on the left? Is it, where is the guy supposed to go in this? But we thought it does represent a nice travel photo, though, and it received a 7. The next one's called Jerusalem Old City. Good lighting and detail and color, and the offset of the people to the right is good. The maker did not put the people right in the center of the picture. It does have perspective. It's got a front item on the right, or structure on the right is in focus, as well as in the back. The negative was that we were wondering, what is the focal point? Is it the people? Is it the arches on the kind of the second tier arches? Where does the maker want you to look at this picture? And the other thing was that it's cut off quite a bit at the bottom. If a little more breathing room to the bottom, we felt would have helped it. But it received an 8. This one, many of you have been out to Salvation Mountain. Excellent picture, we all liked it. It does have a wow factor to it. Good composition and the use of color. The colors are not crazy colors. I mean, they're not way oversaturated or anything like that. It's been a nice job done in the coloring. A good sky, interesting sky. The front and rear elements are in focus. The focal point of the picture is the mailbox, we concluded, and the artwork in the picture is not the focus of the picture. It's the whole setting of how the mountain was painted and all that. So it's how it all hangs together. So this received a 9. The next one is without a title. Again, for us, the judges, just has a wow factor to it. It's nice, the simplicity of the picture and the use of black and white. The blending of the colors are good, from darks to lights. It's a good use of light in the picture, how it shines in from the right-hand side into the second series of arches and then going all the way back in the picture. So we like the ability to use black and white to enhance this picture. So we gave this an 8.7. This one here, all the judges like this picture. And one of the major reasons why we liked it was the technical factors in it. It is hard to take different types of light. The light on the blocks, the light in the ceilings, the light in the buildings, and not have something burn out, and then having the shadows on the right and the left. So we were really impressed with how the lighting was treated in this picture. The way the perspective was done, putting in a good focus in the front, good focus in the back, we like that as well. Unfortunately, the thing we didn't like was it leans to the right quite a bit. So that detracted from the picture, and it ended up with a 7.3. But a nice, very nice picture, and with a little bit of work that just straightening that up, and it has a lot of possibilities. The next one, this is the Venetian Hotel. This one needs a little more work. Let's start in the bottom left-hand corner. There's somebody walking out of the picture. That could have easily been cropped out of the picture. Secondly, the picture is not level. It leans to the right. That would have been easy to fix too. So just because of those two technical misses, we gave this a 7. Backward view and forward view. This was pretty creative. Taking a perspective of seeing the things behind you at the same time as you're seeing the things in front of you. That was, that was pretty. I think somebody said it was a pretty quirky use of perspective. That's the good side. The bad side is leaning to the right. It's kind of hard to figure out what am I supposed to be looking at. I'm supposed to be looking at the reflection of the person taking the picture in red, or am I supposed to be looking at the two guys that are, down the street or the building or whatever. So that bothered us some, but the creativity in it was a wonderful idea. It just maybe went a little astray, but we gave that a 7.3. This picture definitely has a wow factor to it. Great use of perspective, the way that the maker used the rings, like the rings that are around the necks of the women, and used that in the foreground. And then the focus is good of the people. The blurring in the foreground is not distracting. Wasn't distracting to us. Excuse me. The negative on it was that the faces of the women are the whites in them are burnt out some, in our opinion. That they should have been toned down a little bit, not a lot, but a little. But it's a little overly bright for the darks in the light areas and the dark areas in the picture. So that ended up with an 8. The next one, floating tasting table. Very creative how the maker did this. Everything it's a great idea. They've blacked out the distractions that would be around the table. They've got things in the foreground, the background. They're all in focus. Very symmetric picture. Very interesting. It's not artwork. It tells kind of imagine what the story is for setting up this table. So we all like this one a lot. So we got an 8.7. And the final one in the group is called Flowing Creek. Good idea. Putting the creek down the middle and then having, the perspective of looking back to the back or the upper part of the picture where the creek begins. There's a feeling that it could have helped if there was a little bit of a bend in the creek or it wasn't so straight. It was just you lead into the picture a little better. But overall, the user perspective, the idea was well done. Now, the negatives, the maker needs to work a little bit on his or her editing skills. You'll see that in the, it looks like quite a bit of cloning was done of certain objects into and out of the picture. So if you look on the left-hand side, about midway up, you'll see there's a circle. And that was using not using the proper setting for your blending there. The opacity was it didn't have enough opacity to it, so you get the strong edges on it. And right below it, to the right, you see the same thing. And if you flip to the other side of the picture, there are some similar problems. And then the bottom left-hand side, there was some cloning that went on there that. If you see the blue, or it's a blue or greenish tint, and just up maybe a little less than a third of the way up on the left-hand side, right on the edge of the water, there was an issue there. So nice try. Keep it working on your editing. Go to Alan's class, and he'll show you how to make this work out really good. So that was a 7, and that's the end of my comments on it. Any questions? Okay, Gary.
All right, well, I know Alan would like to say a few words. Jim, do you want to say anything about before Alan gets on?
We want to get comments from everybody eventually. Want to do that first?
I thought you could handle that. Alan, you want to talk a little bit about the process?
Yeah. Not a lot of people here, but, want this? I think the process went well. I was amazed that my pictures matched the scores. We using a new method because we don't have the old method. We don't know anybody who could use the old method. So I created a method that doesn't use any special software. It's just homegrown. Most of you entered it well. There was some problems, but very, very minor. Some people used their last name second and first name first, and even though it didn't matter, it doesn't sort as well. Nobody except one person had any problems uploading their images. So we will continue this, and I was pleased with how it ran, and this is our first shot. It's going to, I don't think it's going to get any better because I think this went well.
Hey, Alan?
Yeah.
Just to comment, I thought it was great. It was very, very simple. You went to that one link and it took you right where you needed to go. It was very simple, but it worked great. So
Thank you, Bob. I try to do that because at first I had people renaming their pictures with their names on it and stuff, and I found an easier way, and it worked out well, I think. Yes.
One comment, one question. I think that the black and whites were disadvantaged by the lights being on.
Definitely.
And I think some of the black and whites probably would have had more pop to them.
Yeah, we don't know how to turn the lights off. That's the problem.
Next, I just have a question.
Well, but they were graded on a computer, so they weren't grading it here.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, the lights should have been on.
Yeah.
I have a question, just be curious to know, among the contestants sitting here, if you would like to take a poll, how many took pictures with a camera and how many use the cell phone?
Both.
Well, I can tell you, I didn't take it. One of the eights I know who took it, and that was an iPhone 12. They they do a miraculous job, but yeah. Does anybody want to raise their hand on how many? Did anybody take a picture with an iPhone? Oh, with a phone?
iPhone 4.
Okay, so yeah,
iPhone 4.
iPhone 4. That's pretty that's pretty old.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's getting better and better. I myself gave up my camera when I got the 13. Yes, sir.
I have a comment. I thought that the system of entering the pictures was great. It was much better than the old system, much easier.
Oh, thank you.
I thought that was terrific. I have an issue with the three-person judging system, and not because any of the three judges didn't do a good job, didn't make perfectly valid comments. But what happens is when you get three votes, and then you get an average. If you look at the scores, there isn't much difference between the 9s and the 8s, and the 9s I think were probably a lot better than the 8s.
This is a problem. You know, as I said, in the Olympics, when they have 10 judges, they drop the biggest and they drop the smallest. But if we do that, we only have one judge. And maybe we're going to do that. That'll give us only one judge. But yeah, we don't know how to handle this, to be honest with you. Getting outside judges, I think, is hard. We always have a problem. And the trouble with that too is that you get judges that have their quirks. I mean, we had a judge a number of years ago that from Joshua Tree, that if the subject was in the middle of the picture, it was a 6 right away. Subjects can't be in the middle of the picture. Well, that's ridiculous. If you have a symmetrical picture, then subject's in the middle of the picture. So you also have that problem. So although I shouldn't be talking about this because Gary's the competition manager currently. By default. Yeah.
Gary, I think you make a good point.
Yeah.
It's just, we actually work with 4 judges, not 3. And we listen to the fourth judge from time to time. They didn't vote, but they did have some input. So, getting people all together at the same time, getting them through all the stuff, trying to, it took us 45 pictures, it took us 3 hours to go through it. So we talked a lot. And this, to get a 3-hour block of time for people is tough. So we tried to do our best, and we thought that kind of another way to do it is try to rotate the judges so that we can get skills from other people in the club. Don't make it always just.
You're going to be next year.
Yes.
Don't answer your phone, okay?
Let's try to get some variety that way, and if I don't like feedback. Some judges say I don't want feedback. I don't care what you have to say. I'm not that way. I don't do this for a living. And I'm not. Some people have a lot more experience than I do, so I value input for down the road. So, but it just gets hard with the number of people we have in the club at the moment, and the people that are really more experienced photographers.
Yeah, I have another comment to make about the issue of art, of taking pictures of somebody else's art.
Okay.
And what the PSA uses is if it's a single piece of art with nothing else to add to the composition, then it's copying somebody else's art. If it's part of a composition, like there was one with 2 pieces of glass that made a really nice composition and a nice background.
Yes,
That's not a violation, but one piece of glass or one piece of statue is just copying someone else's art.
Well, I mean, there was a debate, and when we started out on that one first, we had two DQs in another school, okay? So that was gonna get thrown out. We said, well, let's not do that, let's keep going along and let's think about it and talk about it. And as you said, we didn't DQ any of it, and that one, just surprised, it was very well positioned, good vertical lines in the background, it was just a nice picture. And so we opted out, but that's what we were trying to do, what you're saying.
Or even if someone takes a picture of a part of a piece of art, because of the texture or whatever, that's not a violation either.
A horrible piece of, one piece of art, horrible picture?
No, a part, just to zoom in, just take a piece, a picture of a piece of art is not a violation either.
Okay. Does there have to be, do you have to have other things around the picture as well, or? Just,
Can't hear you.
I'm just asking if you have to have other things in the image or not.
And again, I mean, we don't follow PSA rules anyway, so it doesn't, you can do whatever you want,
Right.
doesn't make any difference.
That's good.
Jim, as long as I have the microphone, you want me to continue with my things?
Yes, go ahead.
I have a editing workshop, as you probably know. I'm using a program called On1 Photo Raw. I'm starting it over again in January. We've had 3 years with it up to now, and I know there's a lot of old timers here that are using Photoshop and Lightroom, and it's free. If you, it'll be on Zoom. If you want to show up for the first 2, 3, or 4 sessions and get yourself, sometimes you're not too old to learn something new, and it has a lot of advantages. I think one biggest advantage over Photoshop is that it's a raw editor from start to finish, and it has layers, it has masks, it has all the things Photoshop has, and you never get out of the raw until you export it. So there's a definite advantage there. Plus, it's come a long way in the last 3 years that we've even used it, and it's got now sky replacement, just like Photoshop has, and I'm sure some of that was used here. So I would love anybody that wants to start. I will start over again in January, and a lot of my current class or workshop is thrilled that we're starting over again. Even though they spent 3 years there, they're willing to start over again. The other thing is I will be doing a camera control, or don't point and shoot, I think is what I had. I did that a number of years ago. We're going to do that next month, January. That'll be on Zoom probably. And I will follow that up in February with an iPhone class. It's not a workshop, it's just a class. And I've done that before also, but now with the advent of iPhone 12 and 13, it's a game changer, totally game changer. And I will discuss that, and that'll be coming up. That's about all I have to say.
Kind of expand on that a little bit. In January, we have a couple other things coming up too. Diane Siegel is going to offer through Zoom a workshop on camera techniques and how to use your camera. She's got that planned. Also, we're going to start once a month to see how it goes over Zoom. It's going to be we don't quite have a catchy name for it yet, maybe show and tell. We want people to bring photos of they're working on, and members can critique them. Just kind of share ideas, get some, feedback from your work. There's no grades, there's no, it's not something, it's gonna be very loose, but it'll be on probably a Wednesday afternoon late. Hopefully you guys can join. If we get enough interest, we'll do it twice a month, or we'll maybe pick a subject for the coming month and you can, show some pictures, just get some ideas, show your work a little bit. That's it. We do have some field trips planned. I know, like I said, Jim's doing it's next week, right? For the couple nights around here, and then we're doing the 14th at El Paseo. There'll be afterwards. We'll probably meet for cocktails. And Jim, who wants a mic? Finally, if you guys have any ideas about field trips where you'd like to go as a group, let us know, please. I know we're talking about Joshua Tree. We've kicked some ideas around some other places, but we'd like to hear from you guys where you would like to go as a group.
Joshua Tree,
Barongo Springs is another one too, an overnighter. We got a letter from the owner at the hotel. I guess you folks were there a few years ago, and I guess they want you back. So obviously nobody trashed their room, I guess. Or something. So, anyway, that's all I have. Jim's going to say a few words. Afterwards, we do have refreshments in the other room, so please, if you can, stay and enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Just got 2 more things here on the list. Next week I will be taking photos of holiday decorations here in Sun City. I'm going to go out on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. You're all invited to come along. I'm going to talk about it, what we're going to do on Monday morning in our room, which is the old post office now in the number 1 clubhouse. Talk about it there from 8:30 until 11:30. And then Tuesday and Thursday evenings, we'll meet there at 5 o'clock and then go out. I'll have a list of some of the decorations that Joan and I have went around and spotted and caught our eye, the ones that caught our eye. And we'll take some pictures in the dark, which is a fun thing to do. Also very embarrassing sometimes. The other thing is that, how many of you went to the Arts and Crafts Show fair sale last week? It was a big deal. It is a big deal here in Sun City. And we did not participate, probably because we just didn't get our act together. But there's going to be another one. It's going to be on March 17th and 18th. And if we want to participate in that, we need to start getting our act together very quickly here after the first of the year. I was impressed by how many groups were represented and the variety of things that they had and the number of things that they had. I was also impressed by the fact that there were items selling for $3 and $4, and there was one painting that I saw that was for $10,000. It seems like we as a camera club could put together some stuff, and maybe somebody's got something that they can sell for $12,000. But it all depends on the group, the club, and how many people want to participate and how many people are willing to put in the work that it takes to get it done. So we'll talk more about this at our next meeting in January. Anything else from anybody? There's food and beverage in the whatever room down to your left as you go out.
It's amazing they match. With my numbering system, they have to match. It's no way out. I knew what the problem was.
How you doing?
Hey, good, Sam. How you doing?
Not bad. But you need a new back.
Yeah, my wife's doing the same
Take care.